Hey friends, I've been promising you guys a teardown on this Xtra cab, and it's been so hot at my house, and I've been a little bit busy with work and travel and stuff, so I haven't been able to get to it. So I decided, you know what, we're just gonna do it. I'm actually set up in a different spot from where I normally am, so I'm inside with some air conditioning. Hopefully the sound of the air conditioning isn't too loud, but it's just so hot outside, and I didn't want to put this off any longer because it's time for me to start working on some other cool stuff that I have in mind. But I did promise a breakdown of this truck, so let's do it. I don't have anything written or planned. I just thought I'm just gonna sit here and take it apart a little bit and just tell you what I did. I got my land anchor on here from RC four-wheel drive. You guys know this is an RC four-wheel drive Xtra cab that comes with the cab back in the kit. If you wanted to make a truck like this and you don't want to have the bed on it, they actually include the back in the kit. This back is actually notched here to clear this portion of the frame right here. And another thing that's unusual for us, this is the only kit that we have that's like this. With the Xtra cab on the Vanquish, you actually have to trim a little bit off of this edge right here on the interior. This little skirt that goes down the sides of the interior. Because of needing strength and screws in certain places that we need, this is a requirement that I had this edge here, and that edge actually interferes with this edge just a little bit. So what you want to do is go in there and just shave that edge back a couple millimeters. Also, you can see where I've done a big old cut here to clear the transmission. Also, this is a spot here that I've cleared. I put the shifter, the Vanquish shifter, right here on this, like it's a selectable crawl box. So it actually, when you put this on, that shifter pops up through there, and you see it all inside. The belts on here, you guys already saw the photos of these belts and stuff. These are Yeah Racing 5-point belts. I made up a little roll bar inside to hold the belts in place, and you guys are familiar with that. This is a little piece I mocked up on the last day when I was getting ready to go on a run, take this guy on his maiden run. I mocked up this little piece here. I expected it to break instantly, and I'm shocked that it actually survived. So I want to take it on a few more runs, see how it does. And I'm still expecting it to break. I think I've just been lucky, and that's why I haven't been offering that up. It's a fun part, and I don't know, maybe I'll offer it later, but for now, it's in testing and playing phase. I didn't make the hood open. I took away the lowest part of the fender skirt here, the bumper skirt, the bottommost piece, and you can even see where I notched it here because I wanted to reuse the Vanquish front bumper on this guy. Just to help protect this body. You guys know I put a lot of time and work into this body, so I thought I'd try to keep it nice for a little while, and that Vanquish bumper wound up lining up pretty nicely on there. You guys know I had a flatbed on here that I had printed, and with the materials I'm using and the shape of that bed, it was no good. It broke on the first hard rollover, so that's gone. Trying to think if there's anything else on this interior I need to show you. I chose not to make an opening hood. I'm using up all this space in here with my ProTech steering servo and my Reefs servo winch. And I know you're not supposed to say those in the same sentence, but I'm not sponsored by anybody. I buy my parts, and these are the parts that I wanted and that I like. And if you have any questions about it, you can ask me, but I don't have any special loyalty on that. These are just parts that I like, and the reason I liked the ProTech at the time for the steering is it's a good price, got a good reputation. The reason I chose the Reefs, it also has a good price and reputation, but there's a catch on the Reefs, and the Reefs servo winch, it doesn't require special wiring if you don't want to. This thing is plugged into my Futaba receiver, and that's the only spot it's getting power from. And so I didn't have to do any crazy second LiPo battery or any kind of weird stuff. I seriously hate soldering and wiring, so I'll do anything to avoid it. And that's why when I saw this Reefs and the way it worked, and it's got the programming inside of it and stuff, and words. I don't know what it means. I even had a friend, my friend Joe McGarry, did the programming on my Futaba remote for me, to where the front dial is how I control the winch. It's got different speeds. I tried to do it myself. I couldn't do it. So my advice to you is to find a friend to program your transmitter. There's nothing. These fenders are trimmed here. I used a set of dial calipers, and I scraped a mark. It was about 4 millimeters, if I recall. I usually do about 4 or 5 millimeters. I think on this one I did 4 millimeters because I just liked the way it looked. And I scribed a mark all the way around. I went in and dremeled it, filed it, sanded it. The paint on this worked out with, I just started putting down colors, and where I made mistakes, I started hiding those mistakes with more colors. And that's how I got to this shape. But I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not going to talk much more about the interior because I think everybody's who knows, who's been following, kind of knows what I did to the interior. The hood doesn't open. Like I said, I didn't bother. This chassis is really, really stock Vanquish Pro. Other than I had to remove a lot of stuff, you know, there's a lot of parts taken off of it so that we could get our mounts on it. This is not a custom chassis. It's a Vanquish Pro. I did replace the shock towers with Vanquish aluminum shock towers. I thought the aluminum ones were flimsy and not really up to par with the rest of this thing because it's just it's so stiff and nice. I just love this chassis. So the shock towers were not up to par to me. And so I replaced those with the aluminum ones. These are even the Vanquish sliders. They're not in their original position. You can see here, normally these sliders go up into that hole and that hole. And I actually use those holes to put our body mounts on here. So what I did is I put the body on, I grabbed these Vanquish sliders, and I match drilled them. That means I took them up, set them up to the side where I wanted them, and I drilled a hole 3/32 right through the center of the holes of these two sliders. Where are they? Right here and right here. I match drilled right through those holes, and I just used my screw to tap those holes and attach those rock sliders on there. You can see where I've got the Mamba X sitting here. I took the fan off of it. I think it might actually fit with the fan on it if you wanted it. There's just no reason to have a fan on this speed controller with this setup, in my opinion. That's a 1900 kV Castle. It's the nice one, the blue one, whatever they call it, the motor. It's the good one. I got the Futaba receiver to go with my Futaba transmitter. Here you can see where I kind of mocked up that's actually the Vanquish battery tray, one of the side trays. I put it on some spacers, and I didn't even have to drill holes. There were already holes there, and that actually fit just right there. And all that fits under this Xtra cab. I'm running a 2200 milliamp battery in here. I think I could probably fit something longer, but I like the E-Flite 2200s because they're big enough that they last a while, but small enough that, you know, in all these custom builds, if you're trying to fit a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in there, you start to really run out of space quick. So that's my choice on that. The shocks are incision shocks, but I've replaced the springs and the collars with ones from an SCX-10 too. They're stiffer because this body's so heavy that with those light springs that this thing comes with, it would just be a dragger, totally slammed like that. So I want to say upgraded, but I stiffened up the springs with stiffer axial ones and collars. I've got the drag brake set, I think around 40 on this, and 45 using the software. It is so perfect, the drag brake on this. You just go up to whatever ledge you want to go down, get a little bit of that momentum going, and just let go of the throttle, and it just eases itself down the side just right. It's a real nice weight balance on here for that configuration. The wheels are fancy ass Vanquish wheels. I decided if we're doing a Vanquish chassis, we need a Vanquish wheels on it. These are Methods with OMF bead locks, got a little the matched scale hardware, the little hubs. I think these are SSD RC hubs, if I recall. I buy a lot of parts, as you guys know, so I don't always remember exactly what was what and everything. I got a few builds going on at any given time, so I don't always remember the exact brands of everything, but I think those are SSD RC scale hubs. Looks like I've got 1/4 inch wide brass hubs in here, behind these Vanquish wheels. I couldn't remember for sure. My ichrometer says those are 1/4 inch. I like to have that track in as tight as I can get it without rubbing. Others want it to go real wide. That's cool too. When you go real wide though, you start getting a large scrub radius and your tires can start running into the sides of your body. Gives you more problems with hard bodies that have small fender openings. So if you can get that wheel in there nice and tight, you keep that scrub radius tight and the wheel's turning like this instead of turning like this out on a big lever. And that's why I like narrow hubs when possible. Trying to think, I'm surprised there's not much more custom on this truck. I put a lot of time into that body and painting it and everything. This piece back here, you know what this is? This is a rear body post, the one that go up like this for putting like a Lexan Suburban body on it. And I just clipped it. I cut away everything down till all I had left was this. And what that does is it gives me a little spot to hook this guy onto when I'm on the trail. And I don't know, I think it's kind of cool, but that's what I'm doing for now. What else is on this truck? It's a stock Vanquish VS410 Pro. I really spent the most time on the cab, you know, with all the little goo guys I made for the inside of it. And, you know, you guys know I love my paint pens. This gold pinstriping here, that's paint pen. I use paint pen on the grill. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me if you have any questions. What did I forget to talk about? That's what this guy looks like from the bottom. It's the 12.3 inch wheelbase. See how easy it goes on. You gotta line up my my crawl box shifter in there. And then I pop that down on there like that. Everything's ready to go. This thing's a beast so far, and hands down my favorite truck. So, guys, that went a little bit long, but I've enjoyed it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it too. Let me know if you got questions. Thank you. Cheers.